our land of Wales has such an interesting and colourful history. In regards to our religious patrimony, I think it's safe to say that Wales has a lot to offer. From very early on, our land was founded and built upon strong Christian foundations. We have our fathers in the faith to thank for laying these foundations. St. David, of course, who we celebrate today, is a particular mover and shaker in this, as well as others to whom we are quite indebted. We have the likes of St. Dyfrig, St. Tylo, St. Cadog, St. Illtyd, St. Winifred, to name but a few of those characters. Some of our parishes in the diocese throughout South Wales venerate these saints themselves by taking their name as their own, the particular characteristics. Even through the turbulence of the Reformation time, the Catholic faith in Wales was something that remained strong for such a long time after the demise of Catholicism over in England. Our Reformation story here in Wales is something quite distinct than our brothers next door. It continued for a long time, as we know, to be a place where our martyr saints continued to minister to the people of Wales. We only have to look locally, don't we? We only have to think of people like St. David Lewis, whose relics we are so very blessed to have available to us over at Our Lady's as an example of this. As well as that, up in Abergavenny, we have the Gunter Mansion. I don't know if any of you have been up there to have a look at it. The Gunter Mansion is a mansion up in Abergavenny where there's a hidden chapel up in the rafters where Mass would have been celebrated during those times when it was illegal to practice our faith. Even all the way back in 1916, after the government's Emancipation Act, after which the Welsh province here in Wales was established, the Holy Father wrote to the people of Wales, Pope Benedict XV, I think I want to say, he wrote to the people of Wales, and he says that the people of Wales differ so much from the rest of England, he says, in regards to language, tradition, and ancient custom. He says we have something distinct and something beautiful to offer. I read somewhere a few years ago, I had to do this public speaking course because I'm fully qualified to talk to you. I have a distinction in it, believe it or not. And you don't believe me, I know, but I do. And I had to give a presentation, and I read somewhere while I was preparing for that talk that so embedded into the Welsh culture is our Christian faith, that it would be impossible to remove that Christian footprint. And think about it for a moment, how many names in Welsh perhaps come from that foundation? How many flowers have been named after Our Lady and the saints? Rosemary, for example. Our faith is beautiful. Our faith is something which we continue to celebrate. One of the key principles of our faith is that faith is not static or stable. Faith is something that continues to move. Faith is something that continues to grow, continues to reform itself As Pope Francis says over and over again, our faith continues to grow in order to reflect more aptly the signs of the times. And isn't this what's happening here in this part of the church in South Wales, under the guidance of Archbishop Mark, and our journey to unite the diocese in South Wales into one unified family? What is at stake here is not self-preservation, nor a defeatist sort of retreating due to the ever-decreasing numbers of clergy and religious. What is at stake here is something much more profound. What is at stake here is nothing less than the way in which we proclaim the good news, the gospel. And Archbishop Mark, hasn't he, has helped us to recognize that where we're living now, this point in our story, is we're living and ministering into a post-Christendom world. We are the apostles of the new apostolic age. And this is something significant for us. This means something important for us. This means we have to look at things with fresh eyes. The church continues to grow. And so it is right that we return to our roots, the roots of our faith, and the roots of our rich Christian culture and heritage. In going back to these roots and in looking to recapture what perhaps has been lost, we are taken again to that moment of the outpouring of the Spirit, looking for that outpouring of the Spirit afresh in our land. The Spirit of the Lord has been given to me, for the Lord has anointed me. This me is both personal and communal. This me means that we're in this together. We are the apostles of the new apostolic age. The Spirit's outpouring must always be the starting point in our apostolic initiatives. Everything will fail if we don't go back to that outpouring of the Spirit. The place where we find ourselves today is part of our story, is just as much part of our Welsh heritage and our Welsh culture as St. David, as those priests in the Reformation, as those fathers who established the diocese after it was illegal to worship our faith. What is opening up before us as we continue to move forward, as we continue to grow together, is not a place of lamentation or sorrow, but a place of hope and expectation. As the discussions and the deliberations around the future of our faith in South Wales continues through the Archbishop's listening exercise, let us not hesitate but to continue to turn to St. David, our patron, our personal patron here in the parish, and seek his intercession and seek his blessing upon us. Be joyful, keep the faith.